what the hell is going on. The wind is blowing out here, something breezy. It's not, yeah, well, you get used to it. But anyway, I'm just leaving out of the uh, movie theater. I just watched Thunderbolts, and it was quite entertaining for much of the movie that I can actually see with my blind ass, because I couldn't make out a whole bunch of what was going on the screen. So I just had to make do with kind of listening to the movie and kind of making, making out what I can see until until the movie starts streaming. Then on a regular TV, I'll be able to watch the movie close to normal. But yeah, look, this movie was entertaining, and it came out last week, so this ain't the opening weekend. So that movie came out last week. I wanted to see, I like to go see stuff on opening weekend and stuff like that, but whatever. I didn't have enough scheduled time ahead of time to make my little trip up here. But I was quite pleased with the movie itself. So I decided to make my review before I get home, because once I get home, I'm not going to be on spoiler alert anymore, which means I can go on YouTube and look at all the reviews and Easter eggs and all that other shit to see all the stuff that I wouldn't have seen in the movie theater at all. Catch some of that. And shoot this video here for the little review. Getting my opinion out there before I actually watch any of that shit, because a lot of people have a tendency to try to want to shit on these fucking movies. You know what I'm saying? They want to shit on these Marvel movies because it's popular, and they gonna get views off of it. But man, this was a good movie. I don't give it, and that's what a lot of people need to start doing, is start just watching the fucking movie and enjoying it for what the fuck it is. I watched this movie not being familiar with any other characters. Of course, the Black Widow chick. I've seen everything up till now. So, Red Guardian, and Elena, the other Black Widow chick, and John Walker. I've seen all of those folks. Even the other chick that was in the Ant-Man movies. I've seen all those people. But they weren't really super major. So actually getting those people into a movie where they're featured and having it be a good goddamn movie says a lot. You know what I'm saying? They're not depending on fucking star power and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? It just, it's just that the movie itself was entertaining. Even with the Century, which I saw in the trailer, where I saw that, something about the Century. I said, oh, the Century is going to be in this one. And I don't know a lot about the Century. I know about, I've heard about, Robert Reynolds and that, but, I'm not a comic reader. I get my information off of YouTube with all the little comic book channels and shit like that, where they go over the comics, and I've gone over a bunch of those, so I got probably a lot more comic knowledge than I know what I have. But I do know about the Century, and I didn't know it kind of panned out like I thought it would, where he wouldn't be like a total villain, because the Century, as far as I understand, as far as the at least the comics is concerned, is not a villain. You know what I'm saying? Maybe not even an anti-hero, but I know he's kind of conflicted. I know he's like a uber powerful entity itself, but he has that void part, which is kind of, can get out of hand and fuck a whole lot of shit up. and it's not really desired. So you can't really get him to be the century, because it kind of includes the other part in it, and that's in the fucking movie. I was like, okay, well, they got the character. You know what I'm saying? They got the character, at least from what I understand. My basic understanding of the character, from the limited exposure that I have to it, is what I saw in the movies. Now, the funny part is, the movie is funny. You know what I'm saying? The movie is funny, and it's humorous. It's got some parts in there where motherfucker want to tear up and shit. Well, at least me. At least I know I was in there about to tear up at least a little bit. But I for some reason, in my, I ain't gonna say latter years, but the recent years, I've become quite the goddamn crybaby when it comes to certain shit. So, it's a couple of things that made me tear up, which is fine, because that means there's something happening in the movie. I was engaged, but it was funny, and they had all the different folks. Red Guardian, which is, I remember seeing Red Guardian in something where he was in it a lot, but I don't remember what the fuck it was. It had to be one of them goddamn shows. It had to be one of them Disney Plus shows. It was like, I remember watching one of them shows when he was in it. He was a lot in it, and I can't remember if it was a movie or one of them shows. But he's entertaining. He's entertaining. So I was like, okay. I was like, yeah, okay. Then, and I think Marvel got to the point where they just do what the fuck they want to do with these movies. You know what I'm saying? People always go ahead talking about it. They go overboard with the humor and all this other stuff and blah 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 and whatever. Like I say, people like to shit on a movie to get views, to get clicks. You know what I'm saying? The same way they did with Captain America. I went and watched Captain America, the last Captain America, and everybody just shit all over that movie, blah 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 blah, blah, just shit all over it. And I ain't gonna even get into some of the other shit. I did a whole video on that. But yeah, folks is going off on that shit. And I watched the movie. When I first watched the movie, I was entertained. And now I don't like it as much as the Thunderbolts. You know what I'm saying? The Thunderbolts was just a better movie as far as I'm concerned, because they did a lot. I ain't gonna say a lot with a little, because they had a semi-familiar ensemble of people there. So anybody that's been following the MCU, at least over all those characters are within the last few years, except for Bucky. Bucky been around for a while, but the last few years. So you get in there, go, okay, it ain't like Guardians of the Galaxy when it first came out, where all those characters were like unfamiliar to everybody, even some people that was like into the comics and shit like that. These folks right here, they just no comic exposure at all for most of those folks, except for maybe not even John Walker. As a matter of fact, I just watched a whole video, like Comic Drake, I think it was. He did a whole fucking Captain America video where he had this whole big ass section on John Walker. So, and I've seen that a couple times. I've seen it once recently and once years ago. So like I said, I'm familiar with that. And it seems they got his personality right in this shit too. It's just, I don't know, man. I like the Marvel stuff. It's just, I don't, every time I haven't gone to a Marvel, I haven't seen anything Marvel that I didn't like at the movie theater for quite some time. Now, it was some Disney Plus stuff I didn't much care for. I think I didn't much care for Moon Knight. You know what I'm saying? I don't think I much care for Moon Knight. But that's like the only thing that right off the top of my head that I'm just like, and Echo. Echo is at the top of the list of bullshit. So yeah, that, I don't even want to. Talk about Echo. Oh my goodness, that was horrible. Horrible, horrible, and terrible. But yeah, um, going through this movie here, um, and looking forward into some shit. Now, like I said, I have to go home and look at some of the Easter eggs, um, post-credit scenes, and all this. I have to go home and see that. I stay in the movie theater to see it, but I can't see the screen worth shit, so I couldn't make shit out. Especially that last one in this movie right here. I'm looking at it. I know they put some shit right there on the screen, and I'm like, I can't make that out. What the fuck? And it looked like something. If I was able to see it, I'd be able to get what the fuck they was talking about. So, but I'll know later on today what the hell they was talking about, because I'm gonna go home and look at it. I'm gonna go home and look at it. I'm like, fuck it. I ain't on spoiler alert no more. So shit, here we go. I'm finna go home and look up all the juicy shit. See what the fuck they got going on. Uh, but what I was trying to figure out was, um, while I was, it was, I think it was like before the movie ended, right before the credits and stuff came up. I was sitting and I was thinking, like, what was, because they call them the New Avengers, and I was like, well, if they because they specifically put New Avengers up there. You know how they in comics they have the Avengers, New Avengers, blah blah blah, and then while I was thinking about it, it's funny because I was thinking about that myself, and then in the movie, the shit came up to where it's like, they say something about uh, Sam Wilson. They copyrighted the Avengers, so nobody else could use it, and whatever the fuck, and people wouldn't consider them the real Avengers or whatnot, and blah blah blah. If you've seen the movie, you know. But I was thinking about that before it popped up in the fucking movie theater, because I'm like, okay, if you call them the New Avengers, and from the little bit that we know that we got, that we are aware of what's coming up in the MCU, you have to have the Avengers. Now, what roster you gonna have is something else, but it can't be this team. This team is not equipped for none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? This team is closer to the Defenders than it is the Avengers, if you know what I'm saying. These are all ground level people, all of them. You got what, one, two? It's all super soldiers, except for what the fuck? It's all super soldiers except for the shifty chick that can disappear and shit. Because everybody else is a super soldier. John Walker, super soldier. The Red Guardian, super soldier. Bucky Barnes is a super soldier. And whether you want to include it or not, a Black Widow is a super soldier. Maybe not the same as in the MCU, but in the comics, the Black Widows are actually enhanced too. But whatever, they all fucking super soldiers. And of course they got the Sentry with them. But it's gonna be weird how they use them, because you can't have a character like that. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous. It's just like when Captain Marvel came in, and then you had the people at the studio saying, yeah, well, actually, Captain Marvel is like the most powerful of the Avengers. You know what I'm saying? That came from the studios itself. And, you were like, okay, you can kind of take that. You know what I'm saying? But when you got a character like the Sentry, if you like, now he was fighting against that ground level team of anti-heroes or whatever you want to call them. And it's like, okay. And that was just, he was just tossing them around like it was fucking nothing. But his powers it's just like, okay, I can see where ain't nobody gonna be able to fuck with him because he just got too much shit going on. And that's without the void stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's without the void stuff. So, any other normal Avengers wouldn't be able to do shit with him. Not the Hulk, not Thor, not nobody. You know what I'm saying? Not the MCU Thor. I mean, not the MCU Hulk, especially. I'm talking about the regular Hulk, not the Hulk we got now. The Hulk that got beat up by Thanos and decided not to come the fuck out. And if this Sentry guy would have been around during Endgame and came up against fucking Thanos, it would have been game over for Thanos. He wouldn't have stand a fucking chance. He wouldn't have stand a fucking chance. He would have got pasted. He would have got pasted, showing the power levels of the Sentry. Now I don't know how you responsibly, dish that kind of power out. You know what I'm saying? You have to have that shit balanced off like they've got it balanced off with the fucking that void shit. You know what I'm saying? It just, oh man. And I don't know much about that. I really don't know much about that part of it as far as what he can do with that, man. It's the movies, so you can't account for that shit being the exact same as whatever's in the comics and shit like that. They gonna figure out a way to iron that shit out some kind of goddamn way. And you probably gonna need it with the stuff that's coming, because we still got all this doom shit. You got the Fantastic Four shit, which is in another universe, you know what I'm saying? Which is in another goddamn universe. But on top of that, you got all this other shit, because we still got to deal with incursions and shit like that. And you don't know who the fuck we gonna run across, that they gonna bring in from the cosmic pantheon of comic evil men. You know what I'm saying? And have somebody like the Sentry standing by to deal with that, because it don't make no sense to have him going up against ground level or even earth level superheroes, because it's fucking ridiculous. It is. It's just fucking ridiculous. I just, from what they showed us, it's a mismatch. So we gonna see. I'm just glad that they got him on our side, but it's like in the comics where he's always sidelined. You don't never see the Sentry at all, unless you're one of the people that read Sentry comics, which nobody ever talks about. Very, very rarely do I see people on YouTube when I look through the comic. There's nothing about the Sentry there. It'll be all kind of weird ass comic characters there that they be talking about, but never fucking Sentry. Never. And a few things you do see on the Sentry is just like he's like stupid ass overpowered. You know what I'm saying? And you can't never get him to do shit unless it's like a super dire emergency, which I think is what's gonna be coming up when you get to the Avengers movie. What the fuck is an Avenger? With the Avengers, with the Avengers movies, when that shit come up and when the shit hit the fan, I think that's where you're gonna really see some shit with that. But they got so many goddamn characters, man. It's just like, And it's May now. April, May, June, July. So we got a little while before Fantastic Four come out. And of course, I'm gonna take my blind ass to the movie and listen to most of that, because I saw the trailer. I don't want to see the trailer no more. I think the trailer that I saw that they had at the movie theater is pretty much the same as the trailer I saw on the small screen at home. So I'm not missing anything. I try to stay away from trailers the same way I did with Thunderbolts. I saw one trailer, maybe two, a while before the movie came out, and I tried to stay away from that shit up until I saw the goddamn movie. Because anything I wanted to see, I wanted to see right for myself right then. I didn't want to be knowing shit was coming and all the time. I knew the century was coming, but it's some shit you can't fucking avoid. And just like we all know who coming in the fucking Fantastic Four movies. It's just some shit you just can't avoid not knowing. It's just like, okay, I already know who the fuck that is. You know what I'm saying? It's now it'll be a while before you actually see it or it, him or whatever the fuck. But you know it's gonna be there. You know what I'm saying? They show one part of the motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Where they show a certain thing, and it's just like, okay, if that character is in it, then you already know what's up. You know what I'm saying? You already know what's up. So it's just, but I'm looking forward to that, and I hope it's as entertaining as this Thunderbolts movie was. I can't really talk in detail about that because this movie covered a lot, man. Like I say, it's funny. It's got some emotional shit in it, and it's got a bunch of stuff in it that dealing with the century that I cannot articulate as far as what's going on with this dude mentally. I can't speak on it. I really can't. You know what I'm saying? You can look in the movie and follow it, but I can't speak on it. I really can't. This is some mental, emotional shit going on, and he dealing with some stuff. You know what I'm saying? He dealing with some stuff, and I whatever I can follow in the movie when I'm watching it, but as far as just being able to explain what the fuck, what's going on with the century and all, nah. I'm like, nah. I was thinking about that even before I turned the goddamn camera on. I'm like, I can't even articulate this shit. You know what I'm saying? It's just, I don't know. It's some emotional shit. You watch the movie, you probably get it yourself, but I mean, when I watch it, it's just I'm like, okay, that's fine. I get it, but I'm just gonna sit here and watch, see where this shit go, and it's fine. It's more than fine. And before I get out of here, I'm just gonna put this out here just like this. People, watch these movies. Or whatever movies you watch, it ain't gotta be just the Marvel shit. And grab your own opinion on it. You know what I'm saying? Grab your own opinion on it. Don't be going around, watching these goddamn videos, these reviews and non-spoiler reviews and all this other shit before you go see the goddamn movie and having people having you have some weird ass opinion on something before you even fucking see it for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Before you even see it for yourself, you can't stay your ass off the goddamn internet. You got to be looking up shit on the movie and looking up reviews on the movie and blah blah blah. Just go, you want to see the movie, you already if you that far into it where you looking up reviews and all kind of shit like that, you want to see the movie, go fucking see it. Save the reviews and all the retrospectives and all that shit. You save that shit for after you done seen the goddamn movie. You formed your own goddamn opinion on your own. You know what I'm saying? It's just, that's it. I'm not gonna let these people fuck up my goddamn opinion on movies and shit. It's not for the fucking happen. So go see it if you hadn't. Go see it again if you want. And we're gonna see what's gonna happen in I can't say a month and a half, or whenever the fuck the Fantastic Four movie come out, and see if we can get it. A good string of movies coming out with Marvel to shut some of these people up. So I'm gonna catch y'all later. If I can see